What's up guys, it's McKeown back again with another video. We are moving away from my personal life and video this week back to business. Now this week what I'm going to discuss just openly and candidly with you guys is what investing in real estate, in my opinion, looks like now. Now, if you've been following me on this channel since I started uploading videos in 2020, I've done a lot of investing in real estate. Definitely not the most, but also definitely not the least. Needless to say, I definitely got my feet wet and started to invest pretty heavily as soon as I started to make a good amount of income, really as a realtor via my commissions. Now, I want to discuss with you what investing in real estate, particularly in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, or specifically, I should just say Texas, because property taxes in Texas are high. Now, I'm licensed in Florida as well, but I'm just going to really hone in on the Texas market and what investing looks like now. But this also likely could apply to really every single market throughout the United States. Now, values and overall total mortgage payments will certainly vary differently state by state and market by market. So if I wind up just talking about a specific market, well, it's the market that I reside in, the Dallas-Fort Worth market. But the bottom line here and the premise of this video is how much real estate investing has changed just since I got started back in 2017. Now, to give you guys just a quick summary of what my life, or really my investing life in real estate looks like. I started back in 2016 reading Rich Dad Poor Dad. It was the first book that I really ever read in the last 10 years prior to that, but it changed my life for forever. But just like anyone that reads that book, some actually take the jump into changing their lives and other people do not. Now, I took the dive into the deep end, and within 9 months, I had purchased my first property, which was a duplex. About 6 months later, I purchased a single family. 2 years later, I purchased a quadplex. About a year after that, I built a home and turned that into an investment. And then I continued to purchase different types of properties leading into 2020, 2021, 2022. And also, if you've been following my other videos on this channel, my very first purchase that doesn't technically have any rental income tied to that, being our dream home, is being finished in just a month or two. Needless to say, I've done about 10 or 15 real estate transactions personally, leading up all the way to this very property that I am now building. Every single one of them have been investment properties. So I have kind of seen the growth in price. I've seen substantial equity built in a handful of properties, decided to sell a couple properties, utilize a 1031 exchange a couple times into larger investments. At the end of 2024, I invested in a construction loan, and now 2025, I have been building, and moving into 2026, we will be converting that construction loan into a VA loan. So technically, I haven't invested in 2024 or 2025 in direct real estate investments, but obviously being a realtor here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, I deal with investors all the time. It was actually the cream and crop of my business back in 2017 and 2018 when I first got licensed. Now, investors are maybe about 5 or 10% of my total business. Now, there's a handful of reasons why investors are no longer 50 or 60% of my business, and instead maybe 5 or 10, large in part because I've grown my business. I have a lot of past clientele. I also know a lot more real estate agents that send me out-of-state clients that are relocating here or possibly need to sell. And lo and behold, just investing in real estate is becoming more and more difficult. And by more and more difficult, there are a handful of reasons why. Now, first and foremost, I think we all can understand that home prices from 2017 to now leading into 2026 have gone up exponentially. I wish I could go back to 2017 and buy essentially any and every property I possibly could, because selling it here in 2020, well, to be honest with you, I wouldn't sell it in 2026. I would have sold it probably a couple years ago. But needless to say, you'd be sitting pretty with just about any property you purchased in 2017, maybe even all the way up to 2021. Now, the market here specifically has slowed down substantially since the peak in the middle of summer 2022. But also in addition to that as well, rates have just not gotten better. Now, I say that lightly. Yes, rates technically have gotten slightly better. But when you got a lot of people that are sitting at now rates in the 2s, 3s, or maybe 4s at the worst, and you're telling them they have to sell their property and buy something more expensive and sit maybe in a 5, 6, or 7% interest rate, it makes buyers, or I really should say sellers that are looking to upgrade or possibly downgrade and turn into buyers, a lot more hesitant to want to buy in the current market, even though this is technically the best buyer's market we've seen in a long time. So I wanted to give you guys a couple examples that I'm actually dealing with right now with investors. Now, I love helping individuals learn to invest in real estate. I utilize my VA loan, I house hacked, I then moved to a single family home, house hacked that. And then 2 years later after that, I moved to a quadplex, and lo and behold, guess what? I house hacked that as well. I am a huge advocate of taking advantage of debt as long as the debt is good debt and the debt is not insurmountable. Meaning this individual that I'm helping out right now, I'll give you an example. They are looking to purchase a duplex. The duplex itself is not going to give them the best return. I can tell you there are a handful of duplexes out here in the DFW region that will give them a much better return than this particular duplex will, but it's a couple with a small child. Now, things you have to consider. I would not have had a family in my fourplex. I probably would not have had a family in my duplex. I would maybe have considered and more than likely had a family in my single family. And the next house after that, my fourth house, was a much more safer house and new construction home. So there are definitely properties that I have purchased along the way that were much easier to, I guess, occupy as a single individual. As you start to involve a second individual or a spouse or a small child, things can start to change. Now, their options here are to buy a duplex, live in one side, rent out the other. Now, it's definitely not going to be a tremendous cash flowing opportunity, but their other opportunity is to go buy a single family home where they get no rent and no return on that investment other than the principal pay down that they are making themselves on a monthly basis. Now, another thing I talk about when it comes to investing in real estate, but if you wanted to buy an entire Bitcoin, it would be a set price. If you want to go buy an entire house, let's say a $500,000 house, you're not buying the house for $500,000. The good part about investing in real estate is you can leverage 96.5% of that on an FHA loan and occupy that property and rent out the other side, meaning a duplex, when really only putting 3.5% down. You don't have to put $500,000 down on a $500,000 house. And that 3.5% down payment is going to immediately give you some type of return when you have the other side renting out and actually giving you rent on a monthly basis. But the issue that people are dealing with right now, as I mentioned earlier in this video, is interest rates. And I'll give you another example myself that I'm dealing with now. I have a property in Broken Bow, Oklahoma. If you've been following me on this channel, you saw me build that cabin basically from the ground up. And fortunately enough, it has rented for every single weekend since June of 2023. I have been very, very blessed with the return on that investment. It runs me about $10,000 a month, maybe more, depending on the amount of expenses I may have, but some months only return me $10,000 in rent. The month of December here returns me $25,000 in rent. Now, it is a short-term rental, so it's different than a long-term house hack or a, utilizing an FHA loan. I put 25% down on this, so a larger down payment as well, so the return's going to be better as well. But I'm sitting at almost an 8% interest rate, and that's really the other key attribute here, is not just that home prices have gone up exponentially, but the good news is it's a buyer's market and they're starting to fall. But the other side of the spectrum is the insanely high interest rates on investment properties. But let's go ahead and jump into what I am talking about with interest rates. Now, typically speaking, if you're going to own or occupy a property with a conventional or an FHA loan, you're going to get a favorable interest rate. Now, if you're looking to buy something as just an outright investment property, you're definitely not going to be able to use an FHA loan. You're going to have to use a conventional loan, and your rate is going to be almost a full percentage higher than if you actually occupied the property. So going back to the first 4 properties that I bought, yes, these were back in 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020, but I owner occupied every single one of these properties, allowing me to get a more favorable rate and lock in that interest rate at the given time versus buying them as an outright investment property at almost a full percentage higher. So for individuals that are buying right now, yes, rates could definitely get better and then you refinance, but if you buy them as an owner occupant home, you're going to get a more favorable interest rate than if you bought it as an investment. So going back to my cabin up in Broken Bow, it's been a tremendous investment, as I just mentioned, but I'm sitting at almost an 8% interest rate. Do I want interest rates to lower? Absolutely. I want interest rates to lower because I'm sitting at, like I said, about $10,000 a month. Total costs anywhere from maybe $9,500 to $11,000, but about $8,300 of that is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. A large portion of that $8,300, about $6,300 is interest alone. On a $960,000 note at close to an 8% interest rate for a 30-year fixed note, I'm sitting, yes, at $6,300 a month in interest. So needless to say, if I'm able to lower that or refinance that down to 7, 6.5, 6%, that investment property is only going to get better. So going full circle back to the duplex right now with a young couple, with a young child, yes, they're going to get a property right now with an FHA loan. They're going to be able to leverage debt and good debt. They're going to be able to get return from the other side of the duplex, and they also have opportunity to build equity in the property, hopefully refinance to a conventional loan, and if they build enough equity, be able to remove PMI and also get a lower interest rate. So what they are locking in right now is, one, a property. I think I've talked about this in a few videos before on this channel. The biggest struggle that people have is that step to get that first property. Most people, for whatever reason, they may have a family, they may have a young child, they may just want the nice granite countertops or the better location. In this case, they are sacrificing a lot of those things. Maybe not the location because it's a great location, but they are sacrificing having to live next to someone. They're sacrificing having to pay more than they probably would have for a single family. Granted, they're getting rent from the other side, and they're sacrificing definitely in the condition of the property, because this is by no means going to be a fully updated duplex, but it's going to lock them into property number one and potentially allow them to grow and build their real estate portfolio from there. So yes, investing in real estate is not what it was in 2017. I bought a duplex in 2017 here in the Dallas-Fort Worth market for $285,000. About 5 years later, I sold it for almost double. That obviously is not going to continue to happen, but with the buyer's market that you're really seeing all over the entire United States, right now is a tremendous opportunity to buy an investment property, knowing that yes, the rate is not going to be great. You should be able to negotiate a substantial amount on the property. The rate's not going to be good, but you can hopefully look towards the future when you build equity, maybe force some appreciation in the property, and hopefully, I say this knock on wood, hoping for my property as well, with the hope to be able to refinance in the future and get an even lower mortgage and better producing income property. So to tie everything together here for you in this video, if you are interested in investing in real estate, what you can't do is compare the current market and the current prices and the current interest rates to what people did in 2017, what I did in 2017. I definitely in 2017 was not looking at what people were doing when the real estate market crashed in 2007 and 2008. I definitely was not paying attention to what my mom and dad were purchasing properties for in the 80s and 90s. I knew it made sense in 2017. I wanted to get my feet wet and I jumped in as soon as possible. Now, obviously the market is different, rates are different, prices are different, but if it makes sense for you, obviously you want to do as much research as you can. Make sure that you're working with an experienced investor and realtor such as myself. If you do need recommendations, I am very well known across the country and I can refer you someone that definitely will be similar to myself if you're not local here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. But the good news is right now we are in a pretty heavy buyers friendly market, meaning you should be able to get a good deal on a property. Now on the flip side of things, you're not going to get the best interest rate. Now the good news is it's a little bit better than it was a year or 18 months ago, but that interest rate with hopes of having rates continuing to come down will likely lead to a refinance in the future and better return for you in the long run. But again, if we're just looking at holding real estate properties for the long term, most people don't wind up in the negative unless they sell far too early or they just don't maintain the property. But that's all I got for you guys this week. A little bit more business this week. As usual, we're going to flip back next week to personal, kind of just alternate between the two. If you have any questions about investing in real estate, make sure to leave them down in the comment section down below. And as I just mentioned, if you do need a contact, referral, whatever I can do, I would love to be able to help. Leave a comment in the comment section down below or reach out to me personally via Instagram DM, shoot me a text, or schedule a Zoom call.